Hey everybody, so I'm back with a highly requested video. I can't even begin to tell you how many questions I've gotten over the years about dating with dentures and whether or not I have any tips or advice on how to approach the situation. So I want to share my thoughts and my opinion, but just keep in mind that there really is no wrong or right way to approach this. We all have our own unique personalities and the way we go about doing things. We all share a lot of the same common worries and concerns, and one of the biggest ones is, how are people going to perceive me? Because relationships and being social is such a huge part of our life, and if that is impacted in a negative way, then the results could mean disaster in all other areas of our life. So it's a valid concern, and especially if you're single, that just kind of amplifies the whole fear, because you start to wonder, am I ever going to get a date again? Is anybody going to want to settle down with me? Will I be accepted? Will people have a problem with me wearing dentures? To answer that question, sometimes yes. It's very unfortunate, but there are people out there that will not date you because you wear dentures. But that's the same case with everything. Like, some people won't date you because they don't like your weight, or they don't like your skin color, or they don't like your religion or your hair color, or they don't think that you're smart enough or funny enough. I mean, there's so many reasons why a person would decide, okay, you're not the one for me, and then decide to move on to somebody else. So try not to blow it out of proportion, because for all of the people that wouldn't date you because you're a denture wearer, there's so many people out there that will. And I'm not just telling you that to make you feel good about yourself. I am coming from actual real experience in exchanging messages with my subscribers over the years. I'll get a message from somebody that just came home from the dentist office, and they were just told, you have to lose all of your teeth, you have to get dentures, and they're in full-on panic mode, freaking out. And oftentimes, if I'm talking to somebody who is single, then that almost always comes out as, will I ever get married? Is anybody ever going to want to settle down with me? Or is this going to be too much of a burden for people? Is this a deal breaker for people? And I'm telling you, a lot of those same people that had the same fears that some of you have right now, they went on to find the love of their life, get married, and have big families now, and they're living out their happily ever after. And I was able to witness that whole transition, which is why I love what I do here. So yeah, some people might not want to date you, but that doesn't mean that nobody will. Another thing that you have to consider is that, if a person doesn't want to date you because you wear dentures, oftentimes it's because their whole perception of dentures and people who wear them is based on stereotypes, and stereotypes are perpetuated from a lack of knowledge. It's ignorance, pretty much. I have implants now. I had dentures for several years, and in no way did that ever affect my husband. His lifestyle was not changed in any way, shape, or form. Actually, maybe his attraction to me increased because he saw that I was finally happy and that I could smile and express genuine joy. But other than that, it didn't affect him. He's not cleaning my teeth. He's not putting them in my mouth. He's not eating my food for me. So if a person doesn't want to date you just because you have dentures, it's just because they are ignorant. And, I mean that in every sense of the word. They are, feeding into this whole idea and stereotype about what life is like for a denture wearer, and who should be a denture wearer and who shouldn't, and all of this stuff that just isn't based on reality at all. Think about when you started getting information about dentures. Most of us didn't know anything about dentures until either a loved one that's close to us was going through it, or we found out that we had to get dentures. Before that, we were pretty much in the dark too. It was when we were impacted by it that we started scouring the internet and gathering up all kinds of information to inform ourselves. A person who does not have somebody close to them that is going through this, or is not going through it personally, then they're not going to be affected by it. There's no need to gather information. So they're just going to continue to be uninformed and formulate their opinions based on these stereotypes. If we expect other people to understand what it's like to be a denture wearer, understand what we're going through, and accept us, then it's our responsibility to inform them. We can't expect them to understand anything that we're not willing to explain. Will a person be able to look at you and tell that you are a denture wearer? That answer is going to vary based on all kinds of different factors. If you have a very low quality denture that has low quality teeth, the teeth aren't in proportion to the rest of your features, the gum color is off, the set is all wonky, it doesn't fit right in your mouth, they might be able to tell, but I'm willing to bet that maybe 90 to 95% of them will never tell you. They're not gonna say, hey, wait a minute here, hold on, smile real quick. Like, they're not gonna volunteer that information. So the only way to really know if they know that you wear dentures or not is if they explicitly tell you that they think that your teeth look fake, or if you ask them. There's really no way to know if they know or not. But the odds of somebody knowing that you wear dentures are going to drop significantly if you have a very high quality set of dentures, such as my teeth, which are the Fenarez teeth from Ivoclar. I would highly doubt that anybody would be able to look at me and tell that these are not teeth that I was born with. I mean, they, even up close, the gum color is very much on point. The teeth are kind of crooked, and you know, it's just got that natural, realistic appearance to it that makes it very hard to tell that I was not born with these teeth. And I've talked to people who've said that they've hid it for years from people that are close to them. The ones who have said that they've hid it from their spouse for like 15 plus years, I find that really hard to believe. Because I just don't see how you could have a close relationship with somebody without them catching wind of what's going on. You know, why are you spending so much time in the bathroom brushing your teeth? What about your dentist appointments? Like, what did you actually get done? Like, at some point in your life together, it seems like they would start to catch on. And I'm not doubting that they probably think that they've hidden it, because maybe the spouse doesn't want to put them on the spot or make them feel uncomfortable, because maybe it's really not a big deal to them and they don't feel the need to bring it up, you know? But I personally feel like eventually, at some point, that's going to come out. At some point in a relationship, when you're close to somebody, especially when intimacy is involved, they're gonna find out. And so that leads me to my main point here, is that I personally believe that the best approach to this is to be open and honest about the fact that you wear dentures. Now, when should you do that? I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't think you should do it on the first date. Definitely don't do it over dinner, stuff like that. Like, you really have to kind of get a feel for the person, if you're really feeling each other, if you want to even continue to pursue something with this person, and then wait for a moment that seems like you're connecting, you're sharing information about your life, about your story, your past. You know, those moments where you're just, you know, immersed in this interesting conversation for hours, where you just want to know every detail about their life. That, to me, is the perfect opportunity to bring it up. And if the opportunity doesn't present itself, I would probably create the opportunity. Just, you know, do you have any scars, any interesting stories, anything, you know, strange about you, unique, you know, just whatever. Find a way to kind of slide it in there and just bring it up. And keep in mind that you are going to be the one setting the tone for the conversation, because I think it would be safer to assume that they know nothing about dentures than to assume they do. And so the overall tone that you set for the conversation is most likely going to be the way that they perceive it. So if you are very timid and hesitant, and you seem like you're insecure about it, or, you know, uncomfortable, then that's what they're going to think about dentures. Because remember, they don't know what you know, and they're going to get their information from you. So if you give that information to them in that way, then that's the way that they're going to perceive it. And I personally wouldn't want somebody thinking that it's something to be ashamed of or to be insecure of. You also don't want to really be overly serious about it. I mean, I'm not trying to trivialize it. You did go through something difficult, something challenging, sometimes even traumatic. But I personally wouldn't want to set a tone that, you know, this is so serious that it's probably going to affect my life somehow, and how am I going to be able to live with this person with this serious issue going on? My personality, I'd want to keep it very lighthearted. I would probably make a joke out of it. I'm not gonna lie. I'd probably laugh about it and be very casual, because the way I would want them to perceive me is, wow, that sounds really difficult, but she seems to be taking it pretty well. I mean, you know, no big deal. Like, if I present it like it's no big deal, then they're less likely to think this is going to affect my life in a negative way. So keep that in mind. But I do feel like, you know, whenever you decide you're comfortable sharing the information and in whatever manner you want to share the information, I feel like it's important to get it out the best that you can and let them decide if it's something that they can live with. Let them decide if it's something that they would consider to be a deal breaker or not. And, you know, one of two things are going to happen. Either they are going to say, absolutely not, I can't date a denture wearer. And then you say, good riddance, thank you for not wasting my time any further. And then you go find somebody who wants to be educated, who doesn't want to live in ignorance and perpetuate the stereotype that there's something wrong with denture wearers, because there's nothing wrong with me and there's nothing wrong with you. Or they're going to be fine with it. They're going to see that it's not going to affect their life in any way, shape, or form, and you can move on from there and hopefully get your happily ever after. So I hope some of this helped you guys. I know that the idea of sharing this information is intimidating and scary. I know you see me on camera and you think she's putting this out there on blast to the world. She has no kind of apprehension when it comes to this. That is not true. I still, to this day, sometimes, you know, think, are they gonna think it's weird that I lost my teeth? But you know what? Having courage isn't about not having fear. It's about having the fear and doing what you got to do anyways. If you have any experiences with dating with dentures, whether they're positive or negative, leave them in the comment section below. I think it's good to hear about everybody else's experience and their opinions on it. So if you found this video to be helpful, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you get all of my content straight to your inbox. You can find me on Instagram. It's kalinjax on Instagram. And I'm also on Facebook, Christy Lind on Facebook, I Wear Dentures on Facebook. You can find my blog at iweardentures.com. And this video was sponsored by Ivoclar Vivadent, so make sure that you check out their website at morethanAdenture.com. That's www.morethanAdenture.com to find out more information about the Fenara's teeth that I'm wearing and all that fun stuff. And you guys take care.